Hello and welcome to my demonstration speech. My demonstration speech is about how to properly and safely handle a firearm. Now, due to being at school, obviously, for reasons out of my control, I can't bring an actual firearm to school. So I took pictures at home, and I have this little dummy gun that clearly couldn't shoot water if it wanted to. So there's a few things when you start handling firearms that you need to know before you even touch it. You need to ask the person and the owner about the gun. You know, does it have safety? Is it even loaded to begin with? You know, because there's certain safety measures that happen with the gun that you don't know about. So you ask, is it loaded? If they say yes, then you got to take extra precaution with it. Does it have a safety? And if it does, is the safety even on? Some older guns don't have safety. I know of a police gun that has been retired, doesn't even have a safety on it. So those are things that you want to know before you even touch the gun. Secondly, you want your personal protective gear, or PPE. There's different kinds. This is iPro, as they call it, just safety glasses that if shards come back, it won't get into your eye and permanently blind you. You can get clear, but yellow is most common for sun rays and stuff like that. There's two different kinds of ear protection. You've got the little buds that you can put in your ear, or the muffs that you can put over. Generally, if I am in a hurry, I grab the tiny ones and stuff them in my pocket instead of having to carry these around. But if you want to be extra careful or you're shooting a high caliber of a gun, I would recommend both because they will both fit on your head at the same time. I recommend you always wear it. There was a time where I didn't, and now I have permanent hearing loss in my left ear. So that's something that you can't get back. Next thing is gripping the gun. So as you can see, I'll ask the camera to come closer so you can see the picture. Okay. As you can see, this is my gun. At home, this is what I use for protection. I always have it by my bed, just in case. I'm one of those people that I get scared easily. So I'll try not to shoot the dog. So as you can see, this gun, this chamber is a 6-shooter and it's unloaded. So when you're handling a firearm and you're not ready to shoot, then it needs to be loaded all the time. I'll flip this around so I can see it. First off, it depends on if you're right-handed or left-handed. I'm right-handed, so I always grip the gun like this. And obviously this is a smaller gun, so it's going to be a little bit bigger. I always make a shooter finger. Wrap your thumb around, and as you can see on this picture, your index finger is above the trigger and following the barrel of the gun. You never want to put your finger on the trigger unless you're ready to shoot. If you're, So your second hand, which would be my left hand or somebody's right hand, needs to wrap around like this and just stabilize. It's just wrap it around your other hand. So that's basically your basic grip to a pistol firearm. Now there's different kinds of guns, whether it's a long gun where you would do different, but you always want to, this is the basic for a pistol. Now, another safety measure that you can do that I've learned is your index finger, put it behind the trigger. Because if you brush up on something, it can't shoot. That's just a safety measure that I've learned through my experience with firearms. Now that you've got the gun, where do you aim it? Well, I always aim it away from me and down. if it's a pistol, because that way, if you aim it just like this and you have it right to your side and it goes off, you're losing a couple toes. So you always want to make sure you're aiming it at something. If you don't want to kill it, don't aim at it. So that's always the idea. If you're not willing to destroy something, don't aim. So with a longer gun, you can put it up on your shoulder or something like that, but just away from everybody and yourself, in the sky or at the ground, one of the two. Posture with a pistol, you always want to keep your wrists kind of tight due to kickback, making sure that you don't flinch too hard and stuff like that, because some high caliber guns will do that. So basically, regular posture. And you always want to make sure your feet are, shoulder width apart. Sometimes you need to put a foot behind the other one in case of recoil. Now pulling the trigger, this is something that is very important to know. When you're pulling the trigger, you want to just put your finger on there and slowly pull back until that hammer, this is a crappy gun, but until that hammer clicks. You don't want to, go crazy, because then you'll be like, go crazy. But you want to slowly put pressure on it until the gun fires. Then, once you're done, put it on safety, unload the chamber, and you are ready to go. That is how I always use safety measures in shooting a firearm. It's something very important to know if you're going to be around them, and I suggest you know that stuff even if you don't shoot or you're just around them. Thank you.